A leading crypto project has faced a massive hack, putting $100 million worth of crypto at risk, and the SEC asked Coinbase to delist everything but Bitcoin. This is your Altcoin Buzz news. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody Buffington. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop our latest content. Follow us on Twitter, ALTCOINBUZZ.io, and as always, this is not financial advice, and we wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Bitcoin heads into a new week with a new monthly close still stuck in one of its narrowest ranges ever. Acting in an area just below $30,000, Bitcoin's price performance has frustrated or simply bored traders over the past week, but could a breakout come next? While the weekly close did offer some snap moves up and down, the short-term trend remained lacking. On the radar next is the monthly close due today, which is currently due to see Bitcoin lock in a monthly loss of 3.5%. Galaxy Digital founder Mike Novogratz shared what an ideal investment portfolio would look like for a young and high risk tolerance investor during an interview, saying, "If they were young and had a high risk tolerance, I'd be buying Alibaba stock. I'd be buying silver, gold, Bitcoin, and Ethereum." For those with lower risk tolerance, he recommended allocating only 30% of a portfolio in the example, with the remaining 70% in bonds and perhaps a few index funds. Novogratz's bullish stance on Bitcoin received a boost from BlackRock's application for a spot Bitcoin ETF in June. In his opinion, the application was the biggest Bitcoin development of 2023, adding that the most important thing that happened this year in Bitcoin is Larry Fink. Novogratz said that Larry Fink, the billionaire CEO of BlackRock, was initially a non-believer, and now he says it's going to be a global currency that people all around the world trust. He got orange-pilled, as we say. Orange-pilled is when you take a non-believer and you make them a believer in Bitcoin. According to Novogratz, BlackRock's push into Bitcoin is part of an adoption cycle, which could lead the price of Bitcoin to reach new highs, especially if the Federal Reserve starts cutting interest rates. Over $100 million in various digital assets have been hacked in a series of attacks on the Curve Finance decentralized exchange on Sunday. The attacks began at roughly 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, beginning with the exploit of JPEG's PETH to ETH liquidity pool for over $11 million, although that may have been front-run by an MEV searcher. 4 other attacks, potentially all launched by different actors, also drained Alchemex's ALETH pool, the Curve ETH pool twice, Pendle's PETH pool, and Metronome's MSETH pool for a total of $70 million. Some of the hacks were reportedly executed by white hat hackers, meaning that the total amount lost could be closer to $50 million. In a statement on the Curve Discord, team representative Mimiclass wrote that all affected pools have been drained or white hacked. All remaining pools are safe and unaffected by the bug. Despite these public statements, the attacks may be still ongoing. 2 hours after Mimiclass's message, another exploit of the Curve ETH pool drained an additional $5.2 million. With $3 billion in liquidity, Curve is comfortably the second largest and most structurally significant DEX in DeFi and carries particular importance for stablecoin swap markets, which are not impacted. Curve's CRV governance and rewards token was down 13.5% to 64 cents, falling as low as 58 cents earlier in the day. According to Dr. Lawrence Day, the founder of Wildcat Finance and frequent presenter of smart contract exploits, the thefts were enabled by a zero-day vulnerability in particular versions of the compiler for Viper, the programming language Curve used for multiple contracts. The vulnerability is rooted in an assumption regarding reentrancy preventions that failed to work as intended. Reentrancy attacks are a common exploit vector. In the hours since the vulnerability came to light, there has been some amount of finger pointing between development teams. In a since deleted tweet, the official Curve Twitter account seemed to blame JPEG developers for the exploit, and JPEG's team in turn defended themselves. Curve is also an important supporter of the Viper team, having funded its ongoing development in the past, and the Curve team members are actively involved in the maintenance of the Viper codebase. Among the hardest hit protocols in the attack, Alchemex has paused a number of contracts to prevent the exploiter from swapping ALETH for native ETH, including a bridge to Optimism where the automated market maker Velodrome has $4.4 million in liquidity in an ALETH pool. Alchemex is designed to give users an advance on their future yield and uses synthetic Ether derivatives ALETH backed by Ether in the process. Nonetheless, in a tweet by the Alchemex development team, reports that an exploiter managed to take 5,000 ETH from the ALETH and ETH pool, possibly leaving the ALETH asset partially unbacked. The extent of the damage is unclear, and the 2 attacks on ALETH drained over $30 million, but one may have been a white hat operation. Additionally, one user who appears to be unassociated with the initial exploits took advantage of the exploit to swap 5 ETH for 1,200 ALETH, which they subsequently transferred to a secondary address prior to selling. ALETH is currently trading under $1,500 relative to native ETH at just under $1,900, meaning the market is assuming a 22% lack of backing. Aside from the economic damage from the attacks themselves, the pools that were exploited were significantly larger in dollar terms at the time of the attack than what the exploiters actually managed to swipe. Many observers are worrying over the potential ripple effects. Of particular interest is Curve Finance founder Michael Egorov's $60 million Aave loan. The loan is backed primarily with Curve tokens far in excess of what the protocol could easily liquidate, which could potentially result in bad debt. The size of Egorov's position is such that it could have been the potential target of the attack. After Egorov's account added collateral to the protocol and paid down nearly $4 million in debt The position is currently stable. 3 of the 5 exploits were front-run by MEV searchers, including the attack on the PETH pool, the MS-ETH pool, and the second attack on the Curve ETH pool. In the case of the latter 2, the exploits were front-run by a prolific MEV account, coffeebabe.eth. Curve communicated on-chain with coffeebabe.eth, who expressed the intent to move exploited funds to cold storage, as well as their wish to return the funds to the affected parties. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, has won a license to operate in Dubai after meeting the preconditions since receiving their preparatory license in September 2022. Last year, Binance received a minimum viable product license from Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority, allowing it to open a domestic bank account to hold clients' funds locally, operate a crypto exchange, and offer payments and custody services. The progression from provisional license granted in 2022 to an operational MVP license means eligible users in Dubai will now be able to access authorized services, including the ability to safely convert virtual assets to fiat under VARA-designated standards, compliant with the Intergovernmental Financial Action Task Force. Dubai has a 4-stage licensing process, and Binance has now cleared 3 of those 4 stages, with the license for the full market product remaining. It is expected after a demonstration of compliance with all the rules. Binance's win in Dubai comes as it's scheduled to re-enter Japan and face setbacks in Germany, Austria, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Crypto exchange Coinbase was once told by the United States Securities Regulator to delist all cryptocurrencies on its platform except for Bitcoin, according to the CEO Brian Armstrong. While this happened over a month ago, it's just coming to light in the public now. In an interview today with the Financial Times, Armstrong revealed that the United States Securities and Exchange Commission wanted the exchange to delist nearly 250 tokens on its platform prior to it filing a lawsuit against the exchange. Armstrong said at the time, the SEC reportedly said it believes every asset other than Bitcoin is a security. Armstrong asked them, "How are you coming to that conclusion? Because that's not our interpretation of the law." He added that the regulator said, "We're not going to explain it to you. You need to delist every asset other than Bitcoin." It's a similar view held by SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who claimed in a February New York Magazine interview that everything other than Bitcoin is a security under the agency's remit. Armstrong said that agreeing to the SEC's request could have set a precedent and would have essentially meant the end of the crypto industry in the United States, adding that it kind of made it an easy choice. Let's go to court and find out what the court says. The SEC sued Coinbase in early June, alleging it operated as an unregistered exchange and named 13 cryptocurrencies it said Coinbase offered as unregistered securities. Days earlier, the regulator filed a similar complaint against Binance. The SEC told the Financial Times its enforcement division does not make formal requests for companies to delist crypto assets, but that its staff may share its view on what altcoins could violate securities laws. Crypto industry oversight in the US hasn't landed on any one regulator, and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission and the SEC have both taken regulatory action against crypto industry players. Legislation that would mostly hand crypto jurisdiction to the CFTC and clarify the SEC's crypto-related role passed the House Agricultural Committee on July 27th after its earlier passage through the House Financial Services Committee. That's it for your Altcoin Buzz News Update. I'm your host, Cody Buffington. Thanks for watching.